Thank you for staying with us. Dear, of course, you are listening to News and Views on Salam Media with me, your guest host for the final time this Ramadan, Abdullah Muaswas. Remember, of course, you can join the conversation. In fact, you're invited to join the conversation by calling our studio line at 011 680 You can message us on WhatsApp at 061 766 You can reach out to us on X at Salam Media using the hashtag Ramadan 2026 SM. Of course, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone you know. We're streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Salam Media, and we are streaming online on the Salam website, salammedia.com/listen-live. And again, we are privileged to be joined by the chairman of Khidmatul Awaam Pilgrim Services, Muhammad Mia Khidmatul Awaam, of course, in service of the public. Thank you for joining us. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing today?
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We all well, alhamdulillah, what your duas, and assalamu alaikum to the esteemed listeners of Salam Media.
Thank you so much, and alaikum salam from from me as well. Hopefully, a humble presenter on here. We can get into it straight away, Muhammad. I received a message earlier today about something very important happening at 3 p.m. today, and why is that so? What is happening, and why is it so important?
Well, I think it's one of the critical subjects everybody has been waiting with anxiety and patience in terms of the Nusuk system and when will the space be opening. We understand obviously South Africa has a limited quota and that quota has been exhausted, and a lot of people have been waiting on a continuous basis. When will they be allowed to purchase packages? So obviously, once this quota is exhausted today at 3 p.m., that means the system will open worldwide for all countries, and whoever it is that didn't get a chance to purchase the system in the first phase will have this opportunity to purchase the package in this phase here itself. But it's important, obviously, if you are opting to choose a package, you have to be verified and you have to have money in your e-wallet to do the necessary and to proceed and purchase the package.
Sure, Jazakallah. So, how does the queuing system work, and what should people expect from it?
So whatever is this afternoon, South African time at 3 p.m., 1500 hours, and in Saudi time, 1600 hours, the system will open up to everybody around the world. Remember, when the system opens up, obviously, everybody logs in at the same time. So it's preference is given that you log in earlier, say about 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever time is convenient for you. You try and log in. You'll be placed sort of into a queuing system. And the moment your chance comes in, you'll go in and you have the opportunity to purchase the relevant package that you have configured, that you have to purchase the configured package prior to going into the system itself. And once you have obviously opted for this package, if it's available, you have the opportunity to purchase the package. But prior to purchasing the package, you have to configure a flight on the GDS system, the global distribution system, where you'll have to configure flights because all the pre-booked flights have been taken up.
All right. And I mean, of course, something we've been covering here on News and Views for pretty much for the whole of Ramadan, more or less, since the end of the first week, was the ongoing war in Iran and in the wider West Asia region, which of course includes, a lot of the hub airports through which people often travel for Hajj and Umrah. And so flights are generally a big concern as to how people can actually reach, Mecca and Medina to carry out Hajj and Umrah. And at the moment, I think it's even more of an acute concern given, the kind of crisis in energy, fuel, aviation, accessibility to hub airports. And so, what advice do you have for those who are trying to find flights at the moment from Johannesburg, Cape Town, or Durban to go to do
I
Hajj
think,
or
I,
Umrah out there in Hijaz?
I think it's an important and pertinent question that we have raised, and any is at the back of a lot of people's mind. If you're configuring a package via a global distribution system at this given time, as a matter of caution, and we must take heed that obviously a lot of the Middle Eastern carriers are now resuming service. For example, Emirates have now started to flight. It could change, I'm saying, because every day it evolves and changes in terms of what's happening in the Middle East. However, as a matter of caution, you try and focus on probably three or four other airlines. So obviously, from South Africa, we have carriers like Ethiopian Airlines, like Egypt Air, Turkish Airlines, and Kenyan Airlines that obviously fly you to Saudi Arabia directly. And these people have not stock operations, and they continue providing the service for those people they want to reach Mecca and Medina.
Sure. And I mean, another thing that kind of comes up as well with the process that's ongoing today is the question of purchasing a dahi on the system. So, I mean, there's a kind of a few questions that come out of this. First of all, if you can explain to those who are unaware what that is, and then why there's an important point about not purchasing them through the system, and then how this will be managed instead.
It's obviously your dye or your dam that they obviously when you're going for Hajj, obviously they depending what type of Hajj you're performing, that obviously normally you perform your diet. And it depending on see on the system itself, yes, you can purchase, it is guaranteed that they will perform the dye for you. But however, we're not sure in terms of the time frame or the time limitation in which it will be completed. So if you're following a specific method, for example, the Hanafi method, you obviously you follow a system or you follow the tartib that's there. And in that sequence, obviously, it's encouraged you follow it. And on that basis, obviously, when you receive a message that your dye is completed, then you can go out of your ihram itself. So, what the system itself, it could you not guarantee that you will receive it on a specific time. It could be completed in a period of 2 or 3 days itself. So in terms of protecting yourself and making it easier for you, a recommendation is that you don't purchase it through the system, and we will facilitate and manage this in a way that is most convenient for those people, so we can direct them and advise them when they can go out of their ground.
Great. And so just, kind of before we wrap up on this really important segment about, people being able, inshallah, to arrange their Hajj, what advice or message would you like to leave with those who are preparing to book their Hajj packages today?
I think the important factor is when you're choosing a package via Rawaf and obviously via the guides of Rawam that will assist and coordinate you. We're going to try and encourage people to book a package where you have South African guide. This is important. I think you must understand that Rawaf is there as an organization, one of the leading organizations. Even if you don't choose the package, they will support you. But however, because the South African public, obviously there's an expectation they needed to be guided via the ulama, via the guide. And on our side, on behalf of Khidmatul via the allocated guides that we have given Rawaf, we're quite confident they'll be able to make facilitate this journey with ease from the outset, from South Africa right into Medina, Mecca, and the 5 days of Hajj. And it's important and of utmost important that guidance will be given by our esteemed ulama, whether you are Shafi, Hanafi, whichever mazhab it is that you are following, we will guide them so it makes it easier. Because ultimately, Hajj is a spiritual journey and you need to be guided in a way that obviously when you come back, you want to see some difference. And I think we're confident that we can support and assist those that want to do the Hajj and make it easier for them.
Sure. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for joining us with all of this really valuable information for any of our listeners who are looking, inshallah, today to book their Hajj for this year. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so
Yes,
much, Muhammad, Awaam
Jazakallah
Pilgrim
again for giving
Services.
us the opportunity. We are really appreciated. And we wish you and your listeners a wonderful Eid. And it may be a joyous one for everybody, inshallah. Jazakallah.
Ameen, inshallah. And may Allah accept all of your fasts from this Ramadan and ours as well, and that of all of our listeners also. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, dear listeners, we are finished with that segment, but we're still not done with you. There is still one more segment to go on this final news and views broadcast during Ramadan with me, your guest host. And so please stick with us. We will be back after another short break.